No talkie before the podcast. Welcome to the I Am That Content Creator podcast. We're cutting through the noise to show you exactly how to fucking, I knew I'd stuff this up. You know what? Welcome to the I Am That Content Creator podcast. I'm not even going to read the spiel because my brain can't function today to do it. So welcome, guys.
Love that intro. Keeping it real.
It wasn't going to happen. And I was like, why am I even pretending? And I just feel like, hi, how are you, firstly? Because I feel like it's been a long time between potties because we did some batching and then you've done a guest one. And I feel like it's been a while. So
it's been a while, rusty, but hey, we just got to make it work. And if you can't read an intro, just go for it.
Yeah. Can I just show you something? Because I kicked it under the desk. And for those of you that aren't watching because you've got a podcast, go to the YouTube when I put this up. But my son has made a literal rifle out of paper.
Gee, that's really good.
Right. So those of you playing on the podcast, my son has made a literal rifle out of paper and it's really freaking good. And I don't know how, he's a little farm boy, but he doesn't have a rifle. We don't show him things like that. And he's a boy's boy. And sometimes he tells me, no, Mum, it's not a gun. It's my poker. I'm like, all right, champ, whatever. Anyway.
Your poker that looks like a rifle.
Yeah, just kicked it under the desk. I'm like, what's that? Oh, that'd be the paper rifle. So first of all, Mia and I thought we'd do something a little bit different because Mia's, you can tell the story of the book and then we'll read something from it.
Yeah, so my sister gave me a book. Oh, when was it? It must have been over Christmas holidays.
It was Christmas.
Yeah, it was Christmas, yeah. And it's a beautiful book. It stands out so nicely. The graphics and everything are beautiful. It's a book by Florence Given. Yeah. Called Women Living Deliciously. Go and read it. It's a bit of a powerhouse book and it just makes you feel like doing anything you want as a woman. It gives you that fuck yeah power. And we thought that we would read a quote from her book, every now and then because some of the quotes inside there are just really powerful, but it's an awesome book. And Kristen's bought the book as well.
Yeah, well, Mia sent me all these screenshots over Christmas, my sister bought me this book, and then she screenshotted it all. I was like, oh, and then I nearly went and got on Audible because I think it's the kind of book that I'd love on Audible. But then as you're sending through the screenshots, I was like, oh, I need this in my life.
It's pretty. Even just to put on the bookshelf, it looks beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, since I've been on my ADHD medication, I can actually read books now. And when a book looks like that and is really pretty and the graphics are awesome and the message is powerful, kind of hard to put down.
I know. And then I always put something underneath the podcast mic because we don't have stands. And I was like, I walked past this book just before we started and I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm going to put it on this and then we're going to read a cheeky quote, guys. So the quote that we have decided for today is, you don't have to wait for perfect. You just have to fucking begin. And if just that isn't us, that isn't us in a nutshell. Ta-da!
Yep. And just remember that all the time too, perfection is boring, I think. Just go for it.
Perfection. If we were perfection, mate, we would have tried to do that intro about 6 times and then be like, oh, wait, now we have to stop recording and go to school pickup. So perfection, just action is better than perfection, which is kind of exactly what we're going to talk to you guys about today because as Mia and I do, we just have continuous conversations around how to create better content, how to gain more confidence, how to do all the things. And then we've come up with a cheeky little, I suppose if you're having any problems with your content, if you're really struggling to be seen in the 200 jail, if you're lacking the confidence to even hit record, if you're in a cash flow, I don't know, fucking standstill, then this podcast is for you. We're going to go through just some ideas, some suggestions, and some actions that you can take to move forward. And they might not be massive steps, but we're here to take steps in general, I suppose.
Yeah. So we're hitting on the big 3 C's, which I think a lot of people struggle with.
You're a big C.
Yeah.
There's 5 C's here. There's 3 that we're going to talk about, and then there's you and I.
Big ones, yeah.
Sorry.
We love a big C. So the 3 C's that we are talking about is content, confidence, and cash flow. And if you haven't struggled with any of these in your business, I reckon you're a big fat liar.
Yeah, fuck off and go somewhere else.
You're a big fat C.
You're the 6th C.
So we're all about the C's today. So do we want to start off with the first C, which is content?
Yeah, well, content's kind of what our jam is in terms of, for those of you that have been around the bush with us, you'll know if you're just listening to this podcast for the first time, sorry about the start, but you're in a really safe space. Someone like, you should listen to these girls. The podcast is amazing. And then they tune in like, what?
Bit rogue, yeah.
No, we do love and we preach that that content is the catalyst to get you paid. And what we mean by that is no matter what business you're in, brick and mortar, online, wherever, content is what gets you paid. It's what gets you seen. It's what gets you out there. You know, the amount of businesses, and probably not so much now, but the amount of businesses only in the last few years, the second I see a business online or hear someone says, oh, have you seen so-and-so? The first thing I will do is go and find the Instagram. If they're not on Instagram, I'm like, well, you're not a business. Like, what's the point? So, or you go to the TikTok or, you know, Facebook. You have to have a presence online. And the best part about that is it's free. Now, we do know from the whole TikTok, like an upturn that has been, that even though it's a free space, you don't own it. So there's other things that we won't talk about today. But at the end of the day, if you want to have the confidence, have the cash flow, have any of that, like content is the foundation. And Mia and I, not obviously, if you're just new here, Mia and I have a little secret backdoor double dip that we are teaching inside our community constantly about how you can get all three of these things to magically work for you in a way that honestly, there is not a fucking guru around teaching this. And I love that we've stumbled across our exact method that we'll talk about in our live webinar coming up in February. But today we're just going to talk about the whole idea that content is the catalyst to get you paid. What does that actually mean? So let's kind of maybe dip into what that means. If you're someone that is continuously creating content and you're continuously pushing out content and you're in the 200 view jail, or you're not getting into any interaction, or people aren't giving you anything on your content, what's something that we might be able to share with you today, Mia, not you obviously know, but the person listening, that we can actually share with you that is going to give you just one. Like, we don't want to overload you with 50 things that you have to do. We're going to try and give you one, maybe two key things for each three of these so that you can go away and take action. Because if you're not taking action, you're just standing still. So anything that comes to mind, like first off, Mia, that we can share around, you know, if you're stuck in content, what does that mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, everyone has started out with 0 followers, 0 engagement, 0 nada. So don't be too discouraged if, you know, you've been posting for a few months or even a year and you're still struggling to get the views, get the engagement, get the results. Content is one of those things that if you don't work on it and if you don't realize that it's the biggest factor in all of this, it's going to be hard to move forward. But it's something that doesn't come naturally to many people. You have to practice it. You have to post the content. You have to get messy. Don't be a perfectionist. Just get it out there, because the more you do it, the easier it's going to become. And, you know, our method, which we'll talk to you about later, is almost a way that your content becomes better naturally over time because you're actually focusing on it and you're looking into it more. And when I say, like, I think a lot of people spend too much time on things that don't matter. So it might be their website, or it might be their stand store, or the graphics, or the logo, and all these little bits and pieces that don't mean shit if you don't get the content right.
And usually what you're doing when you're doing that busy work is you're avoiding the uncomfortable stuff that is going to actually make a change, move the needle, get people to notice you. And, you know, I think if we go back, the quote that we read from that book couldn't have been more perfect in terms of your content. If you're consuming too much content, and we see this time and time again, hell, we do it. Like, we are not perfect. We will happily tell you that sometimes Mia and I have to be like, stop consuming the content, stop sharing the things and do it. But that can actually be really detrimental to your growth. Like, if you're consuming so much content to the point where you're listening to every single guru, you're taking in all their notes, you're saving everything, what that actually does to your mentality, what that does to your mindset is it basically says to you, you're not actually good enough. So if you're going to post that thing and it's not as good as that guru told you, then you're going to get 200 views or 100 views and no one's going to care. And so why would you even bother? Like I really want to ask you right now, if you're listening, and be really, really honest, and I will be because I've said it to myself, are there times where you create a piece of content and fuck, it's probably really good. Like, let's be honest, it's probably good. And then you watch it and you go, oh yeah, this is good. And then all of a sudden you're about to hit post and then some little voice comes inside your head and does a bit of like, oh yeah, but remember like that guru you saw recently that said if the hook isn't good enough, people won't watch past 3 seconds. So I probably wouldn't post that because no one will watch it. And then that's just a waste of time.
So
exactly. And in that moment, you have two choices: to listen to that little voice and go, oh yeah, no, I won't. Cool. Then nobody gets to see your stuff. Nobody gets, like, you could change one person's life with a piece of content. And if you don't post that, you're taking that away from them. So, you know, you might get 200 views, you might get no interaction, but that's going to teach you something as well. That is going to say, okay, it didn't land, but you know what? Like, something might have worked, and that's where your analytics come in. But I think that's really important to remember.
Yeah, and just on that point, we've built multiple 6 figures in our business in the fucking 200 view jail. So
oh yeah, it's a fun jail.
The numbers don't matter. And I remember a girl said, it must have been a TikTok I saw a long time ago. She's like, just go and post all your drafts.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to post your drafts, because 9 times out of 10, that one video sitting in your draft is the one that's going to go viral or the one that's going to bring you an opportunity. And I've done that before, and I've posted drafts. I'm like, oh, it went pretty well. I thought it was shit, but obviously it wasn't, because it's that content that you sort of just don't overthink and you just create it off the cuff and you're like, oh, no, that's not good enough. But really, it could be that one.
And I don't know about you, Mia, but I know the amount of content that I'll create in the moment when I'm passionately feeling something. Now, I'm a manifesting generator and I'm a responder. I'm also I'm the emotional wave for those of you know human design. So when I'm passionate about something, you're going to know about it. And I'll often do something and then I'll put it in my drafts and then I'll go and edit it and I'll be watching it like, oh, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know, maybe you could do that better or whatever. You know, the voice goes through your head because, yes, I also have a voice in my head. And sometimes she's a fucking bitch. Sometimes she a damn cheerleader, but she can be a bitch. But I think, you know, in that moment, like if you just post the content and you don't overthink it, like there's a difference. I know for myself and my personal brand and what I've built, nothing I would say would be detrimental to my brand, or I know that my gut feeling would be like, you just needed that out of your system. But usually it's an emotional moment where I'm responding to something around me that I think needs to be said. And when I've actually posted that piece of content, that's when people are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing that. I felt that. Like, that's where the magnetism comes in. And that's what we talk about when we talk about authenticity in content. It's not making up this fake authenticity. It's literally you dropping something that is close to you in a way that teaches something to somebody through your story. And we'll do more episodes around that authentic story. But that's the kind of content that if you are responding to something and you know your human design even better, like dig into that. But I think that's the kind of content that sometimes you just got to post it. Like sometimes I don't even edit them because I'm like, I know that was good, but I can't watch it again. I'm just going to go. And then all of a sudden I pick up my phone like, oh, damn, people love that. Amazing.
Yeah. 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 And sometimes people are a bit sick of the over editing and the over production, and they just want to connect with real people. And I want to bring up a point about, you know, you might have started a TikTok or an Instagram account in the past 6 months or a year, and, you know, you're looking at other people thinking, oh my God, look at all their views, look at all their engagement. You don't know how long they've been creating content for. Yeah. If you look at Mr. Beast, right? He's a freaking quadrillionaire, if that's a word.
Quadrillionaire? I mean, quadrillionaire.
Yeah. And he knows content. He knows how to hook people in and keep them watching. And that's why his YouTube channel is off the charts. But he has been creating content for a long time. He was a nobody creating YouTubes that nobody watched for years and years.
Yeah.
And sometimes, as hard as it is to understand and comprehend that, it can take years and years and years of content creation before you get really, really good. So don't expect to blow up overnight.
And what I love about in that same kind of caption of what you just said there, which obviously we wholeheartedly agree with, because I've been in this game for like 10 years creating content and still just building and building and doing every day. But then on the flip side of that, what I love is how we've actually come together to prove to ourselves and prove to our community that you can create content with no following and get paid within 12 or 48 hours, like a few of our members, from learning our process. And so I think in saying that, like when we're talking about this, we're talking about the kind of content that you create for your business, you create personally. You need to learn, gain confidence. We'll move on to confidence in a second. But part of this, like the thread that weaves through every single C here, and even us, is that we've created and we've leveraged something called UGC, if you don't know what that is, user-generated content, or video marketing, in a way that you can leverage off a brand and learn from a brand quickly, get paid by a brand quickly, and then you take that confidence into your own content. You take that formula into your own content. Like recently, we've just been doing some ads and we've taken that formula into it, and the hook rate and the hold that we're getting of people actually watching our ads is incredible. Like it's insane, but we've learnt that in the process. So I love that we've uncovered a way for you to actually learn this skill quickly and get paid for it, which is the 3 C's: content, confidence, cash flow.
UGC just kind of knocks it all over on the head, doesn't it? Like, that's why we love UGC so much and why we teach it to our members, because you do get better at the content. Your confidence grows because your content is getting better, and you get some cash flow.
Yeah.
It's like the 3 C's that just, all come together in one little business model. And with those 3 things, like when your content gets better and your confidence is better and you got a bit of cash flow coming in, it is so much easier to build your personal brand and your business when you've got those 3, improving all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So because these all kind of intertwine, we'll move on to confidence and give you kind of our action step for confidence as well. And then we'll wrap this all up in a nice bow, because as you can see, maybe it's all kind of, it's just a circle. They all intertwine and they all connect. So how can you pull from each one to give to the other? And so confidence is one of those things that you may have heard us say before. It's something I'm incredibly passionate about. The confidence is a muscle. Like you have to train it. If you want to get a 6-pack, if you want to run a marathon, if you want to bloody run the block and you've never run before, you need to take 1 step. 1 step turns to 2, 2 to 3, blah, blah, on you go. You don't just get up and do it well and do it successfully. You have to take those steps. And confidence is that exact thing. You have to create a 15-second story. Okay, that's not too scary. It lasts for 24 hours. Whew, I did it. Now you do 2 stories. Now you do 3 stories. Now you do a reel. Now you do a TikTok. Now you do a YouTube. Now you do a podcast. These things take micro moments in your life for maximum result. It's not going to happen quickly, and the confidence doesn't just burst out of you. You're not born with it. You have to kind of earn it for yourself, not earn it for anyone else, but it's that, that little voice in your head that's talking to you. That's what you have to kind of kick out the park every time you do something. You realize, oh, I can do it. Oh, I did do it. Oh, nothing bad happened to me. Oh, wait, somebody's commented. Oh, they like it. And that's what, like, if we go back to the UGC, that's what that does, is you create a video and a brand goes, cool, here's $400. And you go, what? For that? Oh, mate. Like, and then it builds from there.
You go again. Yeah. And if you bring it back to a real life situation that's not to do with content, like if I look back on my time as a paramedic or a nurse, I was not confident when I first started. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill someone. This is going to be a disaster. What am I doing here? You are a nutcase. Mm-hmm. And, it was funny actually, on my very first day on road as a qualified paramedic, rocked up there, met my first, CI, which is clinical instructor. Our very first job, I shit you not, was a witnessed cardiac arrest. So we were there.
Nah,
Yeah,
fuck
we were
that.
there. He was on his bed. He was feeling funny. Like, oh, no worries. We'll take you down to hospital and, put him in the stretcher. And my partner closed the back door as she was walking around the ambulance, and he arrested right in front of my eyes. I'm like, okay, this is the worst day of my life. Anyway, from that day forward, like you're not going to be confident, but I had to step up and I had to just do it. So I did it. I went through the motions. I did the things that I learned to do. And, every day that I was on road since then, the confidence builds. Every day you get up, you go to work, something happens, you're not very confident at it, but you're like, okay, I've done that now. What's next? And you just keep building on it. So content's the same. Your first video is going to be
I mean, it's the same, but nobody's heart stops,
No. Yeah.
Like, but I love it.
It's so good that someone goes, oh my God, that was just fucking amazing. I'm going to die here. But it's, if you can compare it.
In itself, I think is such a good reminder, because we get so caught up in this world that we're in that we actually forget that everything we do in our life is an uncomfortable situation where we turn to a skill set that we've got, and we've got that skill set because we've learned it, we've trained in it, we've practiced it.
And you don't grow when you're not uncomfortable.
No.
I wouldn't have grown as a paramedic if I didn't make myself uncomfortable every single day. And
it just fascinates me. Like, we got to dig more into these stories, because like that life just blows my mind. Because like the worst thing that could happen in my careers ever was like, oh no, Kristen hit print and now there's 1,000 pages printed. Like, seriously, there's nothing in my career.
Sorry.
Sorry guys, I hit print again. My bad. Like, there's nothing that's that big. But I really love the way that I hope that it makes people see that in life we all are doing uncomfortable things, and the more we do them, the more comfortable we become with them. The more that we learn, the more that we find tricks and ways to make it easier, make it better, make it more comfortable. I think it's really important, and especially it's nice to kind of walk outside content creation and see it from that standpoint, because like it's such a massive thing that you did, and yet it still relates to what you do now in a different way. And I think it's nice to actually get out of this content space.
I must say, you might assume, paramedics are very confident. They face huge challenges every day. But when I picked up my phone to post my very first TikTok, I went back to zero. I went back to, oh my God, I can't do this. This is so embarrassing. Like, the confidence is very low. So it's different for lots of different things that you do, but it's the same concept across everything. The more you do it, the better you'll get.
And then also in that, so then I would say to you, do you think that, you posted your TikToks and you have that uncomfortable feeling, that embarrassing feeling, but then when a brand said, yeah, Mia, I'll give you $300 for a video, what do you think flipped? Or can you remember a feeling that you were like, fuck?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I am literally like 2 weeks into this TikTok thing and you want to pay me money to do that for you?
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to talk about next, is the cash flow. If you've got a little bit of cash flow and a brand pays you to create content for them, the confidence goes up. All of a sudden you're like, right, okay, I've been paid. I need to do a good job. So I'm going to work hard on getting my content right. My confidence is up a bit because this brand is paying me. I've got some money. That gives me more motivation to keep going. I think that was a big motivation for me, because I quit my job and I was just like, this has to work. That cash flow was one of the biggest reasons why I'm like, okay, it's on. This is on.
Again, like, that just beautifully shows that all these things integrate with each other. Like, if you're getting that cash flow because a brand pays you, your confidence increases, your content does get better. And we've seen that through all of the members inside our community. The second they started UGC, as coaches and mentors, we saw their content get better instantly. And they created more, and they were being more curious with their content and sharing, I think, better. So, it's just, again, that beautiful cycle.
Yep. And we've seen our members' confidence grow overnight as well by working with these brands, because you're working alongside basically mentors who know what works and they know what they want, and they've asked you for, specific deliverables and whatnot. And so you're getting guidance
and
from
feedback instantly.
And instant feedback, because when you're just posting into the void, trying to sell a $5 product.
Feedback you're getting is 200 views, you're shit, no one wants your stuff, fuck off. Like, that's what you're getting, because you're not getting, you're just getting the algorithm being like, not going to show to anyone. I'm going to feed you the gurus to tell you that you're shit.
Yeah. And that's where your confidence sort of goes, oh, okay, this is not working. So that's, another reason why we love UGC, because, and that cash flow, which is our next C, is going to make a big difference to not only your confidence, but also your motivation to keep going. If you keep trying to push shit up a hill for 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, and it's not working, it's going to be really hard to stick to it. Even though, sticking to it for a long period of time is really important, because yes, it's very hard to get to the next level. Yeah, it's a long game. But if you can get some cash flow in along the way,
I think, part of the cash flow conversation, and certainly what we're talking about inside the live webinar that we're doing in February, is we're really talking to you, certainly if you're somebody that, take me, for example, and we talk about this inside the webinar. My journey is very different from me, as I come from brand and marketing background, corporate career, got made redundant, and was faced with, what do? I either go back to work or you have to create your own thing. So I did that. But within that, I've spent thousands of dollars on coaching programs and courses, and I've done the work. I've been in them. I've coached women around how to build their confidence, how to build their personal brand, how to build their business brand. I've consulted to businesses, like, very confident there. But the thing that we're teaching people is, and the part, the ego for me was, I was not prepared to go to work. I don't want to go back to a 9 to 5. So I had to find a way that would work for me. And sometimes that meant that I would take on contracts that took me away from home, that I went and worked for businesses, or I worked from home from them. And that took up days and hours that I wanted to be working on my business, right? That I wanted to be working in my genre, building my coaching business and whatever. But this is before meeting Mia and building the Hype Hub Collective. But in doing that, that took me away from that focus. And there was nothing wrong with that. That was still aligned with what I do. But then when Mia, I met you, and when we then kind of combined forces and figured out, hang on a minute, UGC is this incredible thing that, take myself, for example, I was doing UGC, but didn't actually know what it was called. In that kind of realm, mine was more affiliate marketing or just a brand ambassador. I just loved talking about brands that I loved, but was not getting paid astronomical or at all for it. And so when we kind of figured this out, that hang on a minute, if we can teach women that are in this position like I was, trying to build their online business, build their digital product, build their empire, but I needed money. I needed more cash flow. Like, at the end of the day, I needed money, or my husband was like, cool, so, like, what's going on? Where this can be added in, and we've seen that, and we've got testimonials from women. I mean, we've got Tracy the other day who we're talking to that told us that the reason she's been able to create her app and build her business is because UGC funded that for her. Yeah. It gave her a skill set she never needed. She said that it was something that she didn't have to then dip into a marketing budget, because she understood UGC now. She could market her own business better. She could build her own business better. And so if you're somebody that's like, okay, I have got a digital product, for example, and I want to sell my digital product, but no one's buying it, and I don't really want to go back to work, but I kind of need to start adding another day or pick up another day of work so that I can fund this and build this at nighttime. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, we all need to do that usually. But this is a way that there is nobody else teaching a skill set like this that complements what you're already doing, that shows you how to create content that you will get paid for by a brand. Then you can do that in your own business or employ somebody else to do it, because now you understand. Like, it's a really beautiful thing. And for me, reflecting on it, and as we've been building the webinar itself, we've been having that real discussion. The way that you've come to it, Mia, is that it kind of flourished and built you and your business when you are now. And for me, I've had to kind of go, you know what? There's a real ego that I had to put down and put her to the side because it hurt to think, hang on, but I'm in brand and marketing. Like I should know this. I shouldn't have to get a brand to pay me. Like that doesn't feel right. But then all of a sudden, when we were able to articulate in a way that made sense, now I can't think of a better fucking way than to teach women how to do this skill set that they get paid to basically learn marketing.
Yeah.
Like, this is unbelievable. And I want to make it like, this isn't BS. Like, this is what we're teaching is a bullshit. Like, this works and it works quickly. You're not having to spend hours learning how to create a course that may never sell. Like, you get to get paid now so that you can take a break, take a beat, and build your course and build your vision and, you know, take it to the moon if you want. I think that's
fund your business. Like, I've got a UGC job that I've just sent the contract out today, $1,250 for a product that I really want anyway, a $400 product that I really wanted anyway. That $1,250, we can put that straight into ads to grow our business.
Yeah.
And again, I learn what's going on in that brand, what strategies they're using, looking at their metrics, getting feedback for my content from them. And again, we take that, we learn, we put it into our business. And, you know, we've been running ads and we're looking at our hook rates and our hold rates and all that sort of stuff. And they're really, really good because we've learned this stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, that like that job that we did a couple of months ago for a brand that, you know, represents something that you truly believe in, sun protection.
Yeah.
And you're working with these brands and you're like, hey, I love this brand. I love their product. I get paid. I get to be creative. And that money, it might have just paid the mortgage that week or Facebook ads or what have you. So it's a bloody fucking no-brainer if you ask me.
I think that's what I love is like, I love that we both kind of come to this from completely different fucking worlds. Yeah. And then we've seen the success inside the community of these women that are making a difference and then hearing their stories and going, oh my God, they get to get paid for creating content. And then they get to also build their dream and that funds it. Like, I think, and then when we, you know, these 3 C's, they are all, it's just a circle. Like they all pull on each other. There's a never ending loop of them. And if you get it right, that loop just keeps going and going and going. And that is going to be the foundation of your business. So if you're not successful and you're not making money and you're struggling like fuck, this is the formula you need. Like this isn't bullshit.
Just add 2 more C's in. Not
I not.
That's 3 C's, but another 2 C's is if you're struggling with this stuff, having a community to link on,
big time,
and a coach. With those 2 things, working on content, confidence, cash flow, you're on a winner. Yeah. You know, you're going to go far and you're not going to be, because sometimes creating content for brands and getting the jobs and all the ins and outs can be a little bit tricky in the start. You need someone to show you how they've done it, how to do it, how to reach those milestones quicker, and a community as well where you can ask your questions and network with people and, you know, feel a sense of community around a common topic or what have you. And a few cunts on the side as a few friends.
I love the cunts on the side.
A few friends as well. The C's, they're flowing. So what am I trying to say here?
I think that's all you wanted to say. You just wanted Mike to drop that one and be like, and we're done.
Yeah. A few cunts on the side.
It's one of those things that, like, for us, you know, that's what we built our community for, is to have that support. We're there to coach you. Then we teach you all of these things inside there because, you know, the other part of it is it's lonely. It is so lonely to do this on your own. And, you know, within our community, even though we virtually meet each other, you can still drop in the Facebook group and talk about the struggles you're having or talk about the wins or share anything in there. And you feel like you are supported by a community of women that get it, that understand what you're going through, that understand sometimes you have good days and bad days and a high cash flow, low cash flow. You know, you're still struggling to figure out your deep why, whatever that looks like. There's still a community of people there that go, oh, I get it. Because if I tell my husband that, he's like, yeah. Okay. Or just to say, what do you do? The other day, so side note, because we do side notes. The other day I said to him, so he was trying to ask me a question. I said, just go ask ChatGPT. And he was like, Chat TP what? And I was like, stop it. Get out of my face. What?
Funny, I had the exact same conversation with my Jace the other day. He was filling out an application for something and he's like, I have to write something about this time. I don't know what it was. And I'm like, just ask ChatGPT. He's like, how do I do that? I'm like, oh my God. I
know. I forget that we're married, we're in the same house, we love each other, but damn, we live in different worlds.
Although it is nice when I say to him, like, this brand is going to pay me $1,200 for this $400 product that, we were going to buy anyway. He's like, sweet.
You're like, now you care.
Now you care.
So guys, I suppose the biggest thing for today is, like we said, we didn't want to take huge action steps because we want you to take action. So first of all, let's just go back. So the 3 problems you might be having in your business that we can certainly support you inside the Hive Hub. That's number 1. We've got all this stuff for you. But if you're like, okay, but I just need to take action today, that's fine. So content. Creating content, like hitting go to your drafts. Take that one action step, like Mia said. I want you to go to your drafts. We both do. TikTok, Instagram, wherever your drafts are sitting, find one and post it. And when you do, tag us. Because goddamn, we're going to cheer you on.
Yeah,
so tag us, post your draft, and we'll do the same. Because I know there's one in my draft folder that I'm like, I don't know. So I will do the same. I'll let you know. That's one action for content is post the damn draft. For confidence, it's do the damn thing. It's one step forward. If you are standing still, you are going fucking nowhere. So take one step. It does not matter how small. It might be that today you go, okay, I'm just going to do the story. I'm just going to do a story post. 30 seconds goes tomorrow. Do that. It's fine. It's one step. All right. And then the cash flow part of it is maybe a little bit more tricky, but it loops in again. So if you post that piece of content, you've lifted your confidence because you've done that. And then maybe if you want to think about UGC or you're curious about it, find something in your home that you love, create a piece of content about it, contact the brand and be like, yo,
tag them, email them,
just DM them, do what I do, jump into their voice DMs.
Corner them. But the one thing that's going to happen is they'll ghost you or they'll say, no, thanks.
Yeah, and if then you get cold feet, you're like, oh my God, they said yes, I don't know what to do. Well, then come into the Hive Hub and we'll bloody well teach you.
Because a lot of times that will happen. They'll actually reply and you're like, oh shit. You could get, some money.
So that is today's action steps. If you need them repeated, you want to just rewind a little bit because we don't need to go back there. Because what we are going to do now is loves don't love.
We haven't done this for a while, have we?
No, and I really missed them because I've got some good ones today. So do you want to go first? What's your love don't like? Have you done your homework?
Yeah, I've done my homework. I have. So me lovely mother has brought me a Ninja Creamy for Christmas. Have you tried or seen them?
No. Actually, one of our members, does Tara, does she test that on her Test It Tuesday?
Yes. I believe she got gifted that and worked with them. So
amazing.
Pretty big brand. Got it free. And
amazing.
Yep. Got some money out of that. So that's great for her. But they're going viral on TikTok. It's just an ice cream maker. But you can make healthy ice creams.
Hello.
If you want to go that way. But, literally you get a can of pineapple, let's just say, or your favorite fruit. You dump it in the thing, you put it in the freezer, and then you put it in the machine, and it comes out like creamy sorbet, like delicious.
All right.
I've done protein shakes. So I'm on the College & Co. Violet Crumble protein shakes. Make it up, put it in the freezer, whip it up. It is like a delicious, creamy ice cream.
All right.
10 out of 10.
All right, let's do some UGC for them because I'm pretty keen on that.
Yeah. Don't go buy it. Just do some UGC for them.
You see. Nice. All right. Good to know.
Yeah. Rate it. Don't love this week is packing lunches. Both of my kids are in school now, which is, bittersweet. Get more time to myself, but it's double the lunches. And I can't think about what to pack them. I'm running out of ideas.
No.
I'm not
I'm not a fancy mum. Like, we're literally Vegemite sandwiches, piece of fruit, half a muffin. Well, by half a muffin, I buy like big muffins, or I make big muffins and halve them, and then a handful of chips and a yogurt packet. Catcha.
Yep. You see all these mums doing the bento boxes with all the cut up pieces.
No.
I used to have
They're the fourth C.
Not the good kind. But when I was a kid, I used to have a frozen sandwich, a frozen breaker, those ice coffee breakers or whatever.
Yeah.
A bag of shapes.
Yep.
And an apple that I wouldn't eat.
Yep.
But yeah, now I'm just like, oh gosh, I've got to come up with all these.
The only hot tip, I don't know about you if you do this, but when the kids come home, I used to like have a little snack for them or something, because if you don't feed them immediately, they're rogue. So now I just say to them, get your bags out, get lunchbox, finish that, then I'll make you something nice. And I'm like, that was smart, darts, because if not, then they'd have their snack, and then I'd open the lunchboxes and be like, you guys didn't eat anything.
Yeah, no one.
And so now they eat it at school. They're like, Mum, we ate our lunch. And I was like, because they must be like, I don't want that shit at 4 o'clock.
Crusty sandwiches. Oh, thank God for Tuck Shop too, because that saves me one day a week where I'm like, okay, Tuck Shop Friday.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Love that.
How about yourself?
So my don't love this week is, I've talked about this before, and I actually think it's something that I'm going to have to go to like a pelvic floor physio or something. I've got a sore lower back again. Like, I think I put it out like literally like a week before I get my period. I think my whole muscles like, where's that loosey-goosey? And then I did something, and then so I haven't been able to bend over for like a week. It's so painful. And then I did this TikTok deep dive, because of course you do that instead of going to the physio, about, I can't even remember what it's called. Something, what's the, I took a screenshot because I couldn't even spell what this thing was, but it was like the separation of your abs down the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like directile something. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's like
from having kids, it just all separates out. Yeah.
And my kids were enormous, and my stomach was enormous, and like the separation of my abs isn't too bad, but I think like my posture's really bad, and so I'm all curved back. Anyway, so that's my don't love, is it's sore as hell. And so I've got like a little plan that ChatGPT helped me create to actually just work solely 10 minutes a day on the deep lower core stuff, because I know that I stand funny anyway. So that's my don't love, because it means that nothing can happen. Like, there's shit all over the floor that I'm like, can't pick it up.
Well, you just say to your partner or whatever, like, I can't do it.
I know. I don't like feeling like this. So anyway, that's my don't love. But my love is Netflix, the Ned Brockman special, his running thing. Oh my God. Like, this shit sets my soul on fire when people do amazing shit and you realize that humans are unbelievable when they put their mind to something, especially when it is like a fitness health challenge, because it just proves to me that your mind will forever outrun your body. So if you haven't seen it, you don't know about Ned. He ran from Western Australia to Bondi, and I think he raised, I don't want to put an exact number, but I reckon it was either $2.8 million or nearly $3 million. And when he started, he wasn't that well known, but he kind of, through social media, through posting, and then when he got to Bondi, like I've even got goosebumps thinking about it. Like, I cried at the end of this thing. Like, I'm a happy cry. When people do amazing shit like that, I'm just like, and like his mum was by his side the whole time. He ran 100 kilometers every fucking day without fail. And there were moments where like his muscles had ripped off his calf, and he had a team around him. There was just his family, and he ran this thing, and it just, like, the human spirit, I was like just restored my faith in just, we can actually do anything. It's what we tell ourselves we can't do, which goes back to my lower back, because I'm like, man up, dickhead. Like, this guy ran across Australia, and you're like, I can't pick up the kids' shoes from the floor.
Or you. And like, a lot of people will be just sitting on their couch watching that on Netflix and going, oh my God, what am I doing in my life? This guy's running across the country and I'm on the couch watching Netflix.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. It just, I don't know, I love watching stuff like that, because it just reminds me that, like, when I work out and when I do fitness, not that I'm anything special, but there's something about it that just hits my soul in terms of, you're okay, like, life's good, like, you're so lucky that your body can function like this. Like, it's just, I highly recommend it. Like, I'd watch it again and probably cry in all the same spots, because that's just how I roll.
I can't have Netflix because I'll just watch too much TV. So I'm like, no.
But instead you just scroll TikToks and send them to me. I'm like, dude, I'm watching Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get your fix somewhere. TikTok's free, mate.
All right, you crazy cats, we got to get out of here. We'll see you next week.
Hooroo.
Bye. It's fucking sick.
See, we're way better when we just riff and we just fucking do whatever.
Shit podcast. Wait, isn't it? Absolutely. There's so many good ones too.